Scorpion's IT world. How's everyone doing today? Today we are going to configure the basic configurations. Part 1 will be an introductory to Cisco IOS. So we're going to start off with the basic commands. We're going to go into desktop, terminal. Okay. All it's showing is the image, version, model, ports, and switch you will use in the show version command. So this is what the Cisco IOS looks like. It says press return to get started. I'm going to hit enter. And if you see this prompt right there, this alligator mouth facing the word switch, we are in user exec mode. I'm going to hit question mark and see what my options are available in this mode. Okay, the only commands I'm able to use is connect, disable, disconnect, enable, exit, log out, ping, resume, show, SSH, telnet, terminal, and traceroute. If I try to type in show run, this is not supported in this mode. If I type in show, the only options available is ARP, CDP, clock, crypto, DTP, ether channel, flash, history, interfaces, IP, LLDP, MAC, MAC address table, MLS, privilege, sessions, SSH, TCP, terminal, users, version, VLAN, VTP. When I hit disable, it doesn't happen. But if I exit, it takes me back where we started. I'm going to hit enter again. It takes me back into user exec. We're going to type en. We're going to hit the tab key. And it typed out enable for me. And if you see this hashtag right over there, this is privilege exec mode. You have privilege exec mode. You have more commands you can use. Plus, privilege exec mode will be the main mode when you will troubleshoot any networks. We got clear, clock, configure, connect, copy, debug, delete, directory, disable, disconnect, enable, erase, log, exit, log out, more, no, ping, reload, resume, setup, show, SSH, telnet, terminal, traceroute, undebug, and write. And if I type in disable, it takes me back into user exec mode. When I type it in user exec mode, it doesn't take me back to the beginning exit only does that. And if I try to try in a global config mode and user exec mode, doesn't work. You have to go into privilege exec mode. Okay, and then CONFT. As you see here, it means configure. T, terminal. And if you see config right there, yep, this is the global config mode. Then we're going to exit. There's 3 ways to go back to privilege exec mode from global config. So exit one way to do it. I'm going to get in again. Another way to get back into privilege exec mode is end. It's a quicker way, but not necessarily, but it takes you back to privilege exec mode no matter which mode you're in. And I'm going to show you the other way. Do it again. Control Z. As you see here, what I did is I accidentally hit the key, translating, and it's trying to look for a domain name. The way to do it is hold the, use Control Shift 6 and it aborts it. In order to do this, in order for your device to not try to attempt to look for any domain names, which will take a long time, type in no IP domain lookup. And if I do it again, it won't do it. The next command I want to show you is the show running config. And as you see here, it doesn't outline anything else with show because there are more than one argument that will use the show, which will mainly be used in troubleshooting. In show running config, as you see here, it has the current configuration, which I have 1100 bytes, 1100 bytes, in a version 15.0. And I did not configure anything, and the host name is still switch, which I'll show you in the later video. Show running config is you're looking at the configurations that is stored on your network device's RAM. And the reason why I didn't do the show ST when I hit tab button to outline it, because there's more than one. That starts with an S and T. And that is storm control. And that's something about the spanning tree. And if I use Added a letter A, it's going to be startup config. Enter that. It says startup config is not present because we did not save any configurations. Unlike running config, which was stored on RAM, it is stored on NVRAM. The startup config, when all the configurations are stored in startup config, it doesn't go away no matter if you power off the system or not, or whether you have a power outage. It's like a storage drive on a computer. It's still in the storage. Like for example, your operating system, your files, all that stuff. Just like on a computer, like after you turn it off, everything stored on RAM will be wiped away from the RAM. And for startup config, NVRAM, known as non-volatile RAM, means when you power off the system, it is still stored in the system. And the other command I'm going to show you is show version. It shows the current version of the network device. As you see here, the version is 50.0, but all you see the difference is this column right there. And then the release software. And then, yep, and this is the kind of image, which is a C2960 land-based K9M, which will be more focused when it comes to TFTP. And then your bootloader. Your network device cannot boot up the operating system without the bootloader. Yep. And then the warning, obviously, about US law. And then the email that Cisco sent if you require further assistance. And then other of that good stuff. Yeah, as we see here, Cisco WS 2960 24 TTL, Power PC 405, processors revision B0 or B0 with 65,536 kilobytes of memory. Processor board ID is FOC 1010X 104. And the last reset is from power on. Okay, so we got 24 fast Ethernet interfaces and 2 gigabit Ethernet interfaces, which was outlined by the ports. But the difference is, obviously, you'll see one virtual Ethernet interface, and that is VLAN 1. Now, all ports on the switch is going to be set on VLAN 1 by default, which I'll cover in a later lesson. And then the password recovery mechanism is enabled. And then 64 kilobytes of flash simulated non-volatile configuration memory. The MAC address, that's a base Ethernet MAC address, and then the assembly number for the motherboard, along with the power supply part number, and then the serial numbers for both power supply and motherboard revision number, along with the model. Yeah, the model number is WS C2960-24TT-L. Yep. And then the part number, revision number, which is A0, version ID is V02, CLEI code number is CCOM 3L00BRA. Hardware board revision number is 0x01. And the configuration register is 0xF. So yeah, anything from 0 to 9 to A to F, that's basically hexadecimal, which you'll learn in the fundamentals, along with the numbering systems, which will be covered in most parts of a network exam, whether if it's the Network Plus or the CCNA. Not all of them is going to be in the exam. And the last command I'm going to show you is show flash. Okay. So this is known as flash memory. It's read and write. It doesn't have a date, and it has the image file. And a number of bytes total. So yeah. In this case, it is 64,016,384 bytes total. And then 59,345,929 bytes free on flash memory. And this is it on the introductory on Cisco IOS commands. Thank you guys for watching. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe, and ring that bell. Have a good night, everybody.